C5 Insight is a Microsoft Solutions partner, helping organizations succeed in the AI era.
Hi, everyone. I'll be walking you through the first part of today's session. Full transparency, Copilot in Dynamics is a space I've been exploring a lot lately, including some time at DynamicsCon, so I'm genuinely excited to share what I've been learning so far. So here's where we're headed. We'll start with Copilot in CRM, then integrated insights, the agentic approach, and customizations and governance. Please drop your questions in the Q&A as we go. We've saved some time at the end for answering these. All right, let's get started. All right, so this is going to be the foundation of the Copilot for sales. And this matters because Copilot is one word, but it's really three different things, three different cost models and usages. And that trips a lot of people up. The first layer is Copilot inside Dynamics 365 Sales. The AI that lives right in Sales Hub is going to be the one that's on the side pane of your records. And here, the most part people don't realize is if you have a Sales Enterprise or Premium license, you already have it at no extra cost. Then to layer 2, is the sales agent inside Microsoft 365 Copilot. Copilot for sales shows up in your Outlook, Teams, Word, PowerPoint, and Excel. To unlock this one, you need the Microsoft 365 Copilot license, the $30 per user per month one. And the strategic point here, Microsoft has publicly said that this is the preferred way to access Copilot going forward. So if you're planning roadmap items, this is where you'll want to land, ideally. And layer 3 is the autonomous agents. This is going to be your sales qualification, sales close, sales research, and the newer opportunity research agent. These run on their own and consume Copilot credits, either pay as you go or prepaid. So 3 layers, 3 cost models, 3 usages, 1 brand name. All right, so this is going to go through that layer 1 portion, Copilot plus your CRM data. This is everything that you get right out of the box inside Sales Hub. So let's walk through what features you could be leveraging with your Copilot. The main way you'll interact with Copilot in Sales Hub is the chat pane on the right side of every record. And you can ask it simple questions in plain English, like what opportunities are closing this month, or show me leads from the Northeast that haven't been contacted in 2 weeks. A couple things make this distinctly powerful. You get contextual prompt suggestions based on the record that you're on. It supports 30+ languages, which is huge for global teams. And under the hood, it's powered by Dataverse Search. So you're querying the live CRM data, not a stale snapshot or Excel spreadsheet. Here's the thing. For years, the biggest blocker to getting value out of CRM is that only the power users knew how to build views and reports. So honestly, how many sellers can actually build their own dashboards? Right, not very many, nor would it be a valuable use of their time. So the natural language chat removes the barrier completely. Anyone can ask it, anyone can get the answers. So right next to the chat in the record is the summarization feature. This is usually the first thing sellers will fall in love with. Open any account, opportunity, lead, or contact, and Copilot gives you a clean summary pulled from notes, emails, meetings, and activities. So instead of 15 minutes of scrolling through the timeline, you've got context in about 3 seconds. You can get next steps, commitments, even sentiment without anyone typing a note. One config note that matters for this point is your admins pick which fields Copilot uses on the summary for each table. So you can tune it to your own business. It's not dumping 50 random fields into this summary. You can pick them and dictate that. So bottom line, less time reading and searching, more time selling. Let's play this quick video to see it in action.
I'm preparing for my meeting with Contoso that's coming up this afternoon. I used to have to navigate to multiple records in CRM to do this. Now, I navigate to the record that the meeting is regarding. In this case, the opportunity with Contoso. When I arrive on the record, Copilot automatically generates a summary of the opportunity for me. I can see the latest changes and a summary of the fields on the opportunity. And I can copy this information with a click if I want to add it to an overall summary. I can also work with Copilot to get ready for my meeting. Copilot has already given me a suggested prompt to prepare me for upcoming appointments. So let's start with that. I'll hover over the meeting I want and click Prepare. And it gives me a nice summary based on information gathered in emails, meetings, and CRM to help me be ready for the meeting. I can dig a little deeper and ask some more questions. Let's get the latest news about Contoso. Here I can see what public news sources have reported about Contoso or whatever account record I'm on recently. I can click these to open them to dive deeper.
All right, lovely video. Next, we're going to dive into information assistance. So information assistance is all about killing the app switching. We've all lost way too much time bouncing between the Sales Hub, SharePoint, and email hunting for one document or update. Copilot pulls that right into your workflow. Two main buckets here. First, news. Copilot keeps your current and latest account news before a meeting. So before a meeting, you can ask, what's the latest on OwnBee? And get headlines you can use as conversation openers. That's gold for outreach, both relevant and timely within there. Second is going to be SharePoint. Copilot answers sales questions straight from your product documents. So instead of, let me email Joe and ask where this case study lives, you can just ask Copilot. The payoff here is quick, accurate answers in the flow of work without disrupting others. Your customers wait less and you walk in sounding more prepared. Next feature is going to be Smart Paste. Smart Paste personally is a feature that I have closed many times after it's popped up, but after some research and usage, I've learned that it can be quite mighty. We've all done it. You copy a block of text out of an email or a LinkedIn profile, go to paste it into a CRM form, and spend the next 3 minutes splitting first name, last name, company, phone, email address, all into the right fields. Smart Paste reads the content, figures out where it needs to go, and drops it into the right fields automatically. It cleans the formatting, cutting down on errors, and speeds up creating leads and opportunities, which, let's be real, is the number one place sellers cut corners. If a lead takes 2 minutes instead of 7, people actually do it. That's data quality right within the source. There's a quick 30-second demo here, so let's take a quick look at it.
Allie Jameson is on a LinkedIn profile. She opens up the contact information and copies it. Switching over to Dynamics, Allie has created a new lead record. She clicks in the Smart Paste area and pastes the information. Copilot automatically recommends where the information should go. Allie can approve individual items, or she can approve all at once.
Right. So next is going to be the trends that fall a little bit under the radar, but I do love using. So catch up, open any record, ask Copilot what's changed, and you can get a clean summary of recent updates. Could be field changes, new activities, status updates. For this one, here's the gotcha for admins in the room. Audit history has to be turned on for the tables you want this. and your admins pick which fields to surface. So if you enable this from opportunities, but you're not auditing the estimated close date, Copilot can't tell when that date moved. So if you like that use case, just plan for that little gotcha ahead of time. Other example, picture a Monday morning. You own 15 opportunities and you've been out for 3 days. Absolute nightmare. Instead of opening every single one, you ask what changed, and in 5 minutes, you're caught up across your whole pipeline. And managers can also ask the same question across the whole team's deals, so nobody misses a critical update just because you were in meetings or on PTO. 2 more capabilities under the embedded Copilot umbrella. Yes, these are still all within the no extra cost for Copilot. First is going to be meeting preparation. Copilot looks at your calendar, finds the related opportunity or lead, and hands you a one-screen brief of recent activities, key contacts, where the deals stand, what you covered last time. A 5-minute prep collapsed to about 30 seconds. Second is going to be email assistance. I know we've probably all seen this one, but Copilot drafts professional emails, summarizes long threads so you can drop in with your own notes and not have to read through the whole thing, and reminds you to follow up on emails you haven't answered. And the last one is huge for pipeline hygiene, because most deals don't die in negotiation, they die in unanswered emails. The thing I really want you to notice here across a whole cross-app theme is Teams, Outlook, or Copilot Chat is the same underlying capability. Your CRM context just follows you through them. Let's check out this quick video here.
I'm working on an email in Dynamics 365 for sales, and I'd like a little help from Copilot. So from the email, I'll just click Draft from Copilot, and I'll type in a very short version of what I want to say, not worrying about punctuation or sentence structure, and click Generate. After a moment, Copilot generates a draft. I want to adjust this to make it longer, but a little more friendly. I'm happy with this version, so I'll keep it. I can make whatever changes I want to make. And when I'm done, just click Send.
Pretty simple. All right. So next is going to be lead enrichment. Lead enrichment is one of those features that quietly compounds over time. When a new lead comes in, either a web form, a list import, or a trade show, Copilot automatically pulls together a summary and enriches it from Dynamics and from LinkedIn. 3 things it's doing. It suggests possible contact matches based on the lead's email, so you're not creating duplicates. It surfaces LinkedIn profiles if you've got Sales Navigator licensed, and if you do, that's a big unlock here. And there is a add missing info section that fills in the gaps: phone, title, company size. So you're not stuck with those half-empty leads nobody wants to touch. One thing I do want to call out is this one is not autonomous. It hands you the information to fill in. You stay in control. So your sellers stop burning the first 10 minutes of every new lead on manual research. And as a bonus, your CRM data just gets cleaner over time, automatically. Next is going to be relationship analytics. Now we've moved into the more advanced side of this. So relationship analytics is honestly one of the most underused capabilities in sales. It tracks the scores and health of your customer relationships using real communication patterns, using emails, meetings, calls, tasks, and rolls that into a relationship health score. So you can see at a glance which relationships are warming, cooling, or genuinely at risk. It also shows engagement frequency and recency across your whole team. So you can finally answer something like, who on my team has the strongest relationship at Acme? That's gold for account planning and for routing warm introductions. You'll find it on contact opportunity and account records. And the real value is objective visibility instead of a gut feel. And for managers, you can catch a relationship quietly going cold before it ever shows up as a lost deal. Conversation intelligence is a force multiplier for sales and managers alike. Every sales call gets automatically transcribed and analyzed with AI in real time during the call and afterwards. So what does it surface? Customer sentiment throughout the call. It could also pull competitor mentions. The second a competitor comes up, you will know. You can also even arrange keywords. Every time they come up within, across 100 calls, you can track that. And also then for buying signals, any phrases that historically tell you that a deal is moving, you can easily identify here. And for managers, this is where coaching really changes. Talk to listen ratio, longest monologue, engagement patterns. You can finally coach on what actually happened on the call instead of just going off of the vibes. And those trends roll up across the team over time. So you're reading pipeline health from the conversations themselves, not just staged updates. So every call becomes both a coaching opportunity and an insight opportunity. And that's a behavior change, not just a tool change. The third advanced capability is predictive scoring and AI forecasting, broken into 3 pieces. First is going to be predictive lead scoring. AI scoring your leads based on historical conversation patterns, basically which of these leads looks like they're actually going to convert. Those bubble to the top. Second, predictive opportunity scoring, same idea, applied to your open deals. The AI watches deal signals and historical patterns and scores every opportunity on likelihood to close, so sellers know where to spend their time. And managers know which deals to inspect. Third is going to be your AI-powered forecasting, historical trends and pipeline data projecting revenue with confidence. Way more sophisticated than the old weighted pipeline math. And the part I think matters most, these models are adjustable. Your admins configure what factors matter, the thresholds, the weighting. So you can tune it to your business. The payoff is two-sided. Sellers focus on deals most likely to close, and leadership gets data-driven projections instead of going seller by seller on commit calls. That wraps up everything inside of Sales Hub. So section 2, integrated insights. This is where Copilot leaves the Sales Hub bubble and shows up in the apps your sellers actually live in their day-to-day. They're going to be Outlook, Teams, and the rest of the M365 suite. Sellers spend most of their time outside of CRM. And that's the whole point of this section. It breaks into 3 buckets where CRM data can easily surface without directly opening up the CRM app. Outlook, CRM data, and communication tracking right inside of the email flow, so right on that side pane. Within Teams, you get real-time collaboration and deal rooms with CRM context built in. In the broader M365, your Excel, PowerPoint, Word, Power BI, where Copilot can speed up creating content and analyzing data. The thread tying it all together, your sales data is accessible everywhere. Sellers don't have to go to the CRM comes to them. And in my experience, this is the section that actually drives adoption because it removes the single biggest barrier to using CRM. I have to stop what I'm doing, switch apps, input the data. So that leads us into logging and tracking. So let's start with Outlook, and it kicks off with logging and tracking. Sellers can log emails and meetings directly in Dynamics right from Outlook. So one click, no copy and paste, and Copilot pulls contact info from the email signature. So your contact records get created and enriched just by a byproduct of normal everyday communication. It also watches conversation threads and suggests updates to your records. So if you and the customer land on a new closing date in the email, Copilot nudges you, asks, want to update the opportunity? One click, and it updates that. The benefit here is visibility and compliance. Every interaction captured and linked to the right record without any manual effort. And honestly, it's the difference between a CRM that reflects reality and the one that's about 6 weeks behind reality. Let's watch this quick video to see this feature in action.
To open Copilot for Sales. Since I regularly use Copilot for Sales, I'll also click the push pin to automatically have Copilot open for all of my emails. I can see that Allie isn't in our CRM yet, but her other coworkers in the email are. Let's add Allie to CRM. As you can see, Copilot has looked at Allie's signature line to fill in as much information on the new contact form as possible. I'll fill in the company name and save the record. I'm also going to save the email to CRM, and I'll attach it to the opportunity I've already opened for the Contoso account.
That side pane is so much fun within Outlook. All right, so the next feature within Outlook is going to be beyond logging and a bigger play on Outlook in a two-way context. Now, a lot of you might remember the old Outlook connector, getting your emails into CRM. This flips it around, and it's a game changer of bringing CRM to your email. So while you're reading and writing an email, you can see the lead, opportunity, and account details right there. No app switching. Customer history, recent activities, open tasks. You even see relationships and deal risks instantly. So if you're about to fire off a casual email to someone whose deal just slipped, you know about that before you hit send. Here's the use case that I love for this feature. A customer emails you a question. Before you apply, you just glance at the side pane, deal stage, last meeting summary, who else on your team's been talking to them, and what about? And now that quick 2-line reply is informed and personalized in a way it just couldn't have been before, and in a more efficient manner. That's the whole game: smarter responses, faster, and in real time. Now, teams. Starting with what happens during your meeting, Copilot brings your sales insights right into your team's meetings. So while you're on the call, you've got real-time summaries and relevant opportunity, lead, or account, even recent activities, next steps, and open tasks, all without flipping to another app or looking at another screen. 2 practical pieces. First, set Copilot to auto record and transcribe your meetings, and I'd make that a default. Adoption is so much higher when your sellers don't have to remember to hit record. Second piece, sellers can prep right in Teams as the meeting kicks off and then engage with full context in the conversation itself. The payoff is more productive meetings, faster decisions, and updating records right there during the meeting, which, let's be honest, is the only time anybody actually remembers what happened. Decisions get captured live instead of in a notebook and never make it back into your CRM. And then the post-meeting piece, which is honestly where a ton of value gets lost today, and exactly where Copilot closes the gap. The second the meeting ends, 3 things happen, 1 click each. 1, it posts the meeting summary straight to Dynamics, so your opportunity timeline reflects what actually happened automatically. 2, it adds tasks to Dynamics, so the action items you captured flow into records owned by the right people. And 3, it sends a follow-up email from inside Teams. tracked automatically back to Dynamics. So the whole post-meeting routine, your notes, your follow-up tasks, your follow-up email, collapses into about 30 seconds. The benefit is data accuracy that doesn't hinge on a seller's discipline or time blocking at the end of the day to do it. And those 15, 30-minute blocks afterward can go toward actual strategy. That's what's it going to take to move the deal to win it. So instead of admin, you're actually focusing on strategy. The next feature within here can still be in that post-meeting piece, but it is still within Teams, is deal rooms. Deal room is a really neat feature for your more complex deals. From any opportunity record in Dynamics or in Outlook, you can spin up a dedicated Teams channel or chat just from that opportunity. Copilot drops that key opportunity details right into the channel for instant context. And it even suggests who to add based on your CRM data. It could be account team members, pre-sale engineers, and managers. And once the deal room is live, this is where it gets fun. You can mention Copilot right inside the channel, and it pulls live CRM info. You can share files, assign tasks, and sync updates back to Dynamics. So your team collaborates in Teams the way you already do, but every important decision and document is automatically tied back to your CRM record. For your complex, multi-stakeholder, 6-month enterprise deals, this is genuinely transformative. Less email back and forth, more transparency, faster decision, and a complete record of how the deal progressed. And to round out integration, this is Copilot across the rest of the M365. 3 very quick examples: Power Automate, or PowerPoint, whether it's a rep building demo slides or a leader building a QBR or a proposal deck, Copilot turns your documents or CRM data into polished slides in minutes instead of hours. If your VP needs a Q3 pipeline deck for tomorrow morning, Copilot can draft it in your data tonight. Word, for proposals, RFP responses, account plans, Copilot pulls product specs, meeting summaries, and CRM data straight into your document. No more copy and pasting from 5 different sources. And lastly, Power BI. Copilot answers questions about your dashboard, like what is your Q4 pipeline coverage? Show me revenue trends by region. Charts and figures right there in Teams or wherever you're working works in either. So the unifying message across this whole section, Copilot is wherever your sellers need to work. It's not go to the AI app. The AI is in your apps. And on that note, I'll hand it over to Tracy to take over the Agentic approach.
Fantastic, Sharon. I'm going to give you a little grace on that Power Automate slip. We have spent about 15 hours already doing some Power Automate training for a client this week. So a little bit on the mind. All right, we're going to jump into an agentic approach. So this is where things really get interesting and where Microsoft is doing a ton of investing. It's where it's going heavily. And we really want to talk about these agents. So I want to make sure that we can cover through all of them and get through everything. So please put your questions in and we'll try to get through them at the end. So everything that Sharon has covered up until now has been assistive. So Copilot helps you do something faster. Agents are completely different. Agents can and are autonomous. They go do work on their own on a schedule triggered by events and present you with the results. So Dynamics 365 Sales now ships out of the box AI agent that helps qualify leads and close deals faster. They do autonomous research, provide insights, engage with customers under guardrails you define. The qualification agent is now GA, so it's generally available. The close agent, research agent, and opportunity agent are in various stages of preview or recently released. So we are going to walk through each one of them. And remember from that architecture slide, this is where we're now into that layer 3. They do consume credits. We're going to talk a little bit about the licensing in a future slide. Before the autonomous ones, let's talk about the sales agent. This lives in M365 Copilot chat. So at the beginning, we talked about Copilot for sales, right? So this used to be a separate agent. When Microsoft first came out with everything, they had the M365 and then they had Copilot Sales Agent. It was completely separate with its own cost. This is now included with M365 Copilot and kicks off that third layer. Microsoft is calling it, as Sharon had said, the preferred way to access Copilot assistance going forward. This is going to be your primary visualization as you go in. It is a dedicated sales-focused agent inside Microsoft 365 Copilot chat that understands your D365 sales context. Critically, it works across M365. Sellers can open the sales agent in Teams, Outlook, Word, PowerPoint, Excel. Same agent, same context wherever you are. So if you're used to it as that separate, it can work in here. So in your separate or in your individual agents. So what does it do? It answers sales questions. It surfaces CRM insights, generates summaries for leads, opportunities, accounts. It can draft your emails, preps you for meetings, suggest the next best actions on recent activity and record data. The benefit is enormous. Sellers access those sales insight and execute tasks anywhere in M365, and they don't have to go to CRM. The CRM aware agent is working where they're working. So we're going to talk and hit this first video from Microsoft.
Job is fast-paced. Finding the right information quickly can make or break a deal. Say hello to the new Sales Chat Agent. It saves you time by finding and summarizing information. Plus, it recommends products, actions, and meeting preparations, keeping you a step ahead of your customers. View the account summary and get recommendations on next steps. Prepare for meetings with insights from past emails, account history, and other data. View meeting notes and decisions involving the same account, even if you didn't attend. Keep a tab on your pipeline progress, opportunities, and review open items. Now, you aren't always at your laptop. Sales Chat Agent ensures you have access to the same great insights on the go. Close deals faster with Sales Chat Agent.
Okay, so a lot of the video was showing that sales agent in Teams where you were seeing it. That was your visual, that's what you were working in and out of. If you're using Outlook and you have that Copilot for sales or Copilot sales in the top corner, in order for that information to go in and out that Sharon was talking, that's Copilot for sales working within your tools. So again, that is the first of our agents that we want to go into. So now let's jump into our autonomous agents. The sales qualification agent is the first one we're going to talk about. And this automates one of the most time-consuming, least loved tasks in sales, qualifying leads. Everybody wants a lead. Everybody wants it just to be done. Anything that requires you to go in and click buttons is not fun. So the qualification agent kind of supports that. It does analyze engagement history, customer data, key signals, and suggest qualification status and next best actions based on that predefined criteria and AI insights. It does surface relevant context, recent interaction, sentiment, and potential buying intent. So when a seller does pick up that lead, they have everything you need. Now, what I want to start off with this slide, and you'll see in the future slides, is the green and the blue, dark blue text. I did this entire presentation a month ago at an event. Everything in blue is what was out for this agent and future agents as we go through it. Everything in green, I kept separate and in a different color so you can see how much development has happened in just a month. These are things that are coming out so quickly, and it's constantly evolving. That what you're seeing today is not what you're going to see in a month or even in a week. So know that there's a lot going into this and a lot of great additional enhancements that are coming out pretty consistently. So there's a lot of great things that you're going to see throughout this. We have updated this too as of this week. It won't be relevant or at least completely up to date next week. The next one I want to go into is the sales close agent. This agent is the most critical sale of the cycle, the closing the deal. Copilot analyzes opportunity data, historical patterns, and engagement signals, and identifies closing signals so sellers know which deals are ready to push. It suggests next best actions to accelerate closure. It surfaces potential risks, competitive threats, stakeholder gaps, deal hygiene issues, and recommends mitigation strategies before you finalize. It's like having that deal coach review every late stage opportunity. What has changed after our first review, it tells you what moved since the last time and why it matters at this stage of the deal and the next best action. I'm going to stop right there because that's crazy update for this, because you always, you know what is happening with your deal, and it's great to have AI tell you where it's at, but to know what has changed since the last time you talked about it is fantastic. You're always trying to remember what you talked about before and then what you talked about with the last one, and then knowing that next best action. So these enhancements are leaps and bounds every time. So across the qualified, develop, and propose and close stages is when you can see it. You can chat with it in plain text, which is fantastic to dig in and refine the insights. And then later this year, it's going to surface patterns from past wins and losses, recurring competitors' objections, stakeholder gaps within those next steps. So it can flag anything on that, any risks for the future deals. Practical setup note for this: it does consume agent or consumes capacity. So when you do plan and configure it, do it for the right opportunities. If you have some opportunities that move pretty consistently through the deal stage, don't point it at every deal. Point it only the deals that need that extra lift or need that extra guidance. So just make sure that when you are setting it up, you have it set up to focus on just the right deals, not all of them. What is the most important parts of sales, but also the most abused, is research and personalization. In this day and age, especially, it's so incredibly important, from outbound SDRs to following up on existing leads and opportunities for account managers. Sales reps are spending 20 minutes a day on each one. They talk to the customer, or they reach out and they don't get anything, or they just don't do the research at all. All of that is happening consistently. The research agent now gives sellers that competitive edge through deep insight gathering. It uses AI to pull from a ton of resources or trusted sources and pulls it all into accounts, industries, competitors, all of the complex sales questions. So the use case I always like is you have a meeting prep. A seller has a discovery call with a new account tomorrow. Instead of spending 45 minutes Googling, clicking through 10 different browser tabs, the research agent assembles a brief region industry news, competitor moves, account-specific context, and key trends. The seller walks in informed, and it gives all of it right off the bat without them having to do all of their own research. So it really transforms outbound from spray and pray to that research-driven engagement. Every conversation is informed, every interaction is contextual. So I do want to play this video real quick, and then we'll talk about the new things that have come out.
Sales teams are under pressure to accelerate revenue. That means more leads and more wins. When lead generation resources are limited, growth must come from winning more of the deals already in the pipeline. Meet the Sales Close Agent, your round-the-clock AI companion for closing deals. It scans the pipeline, conversations, public signals, and even custom data sources to identify the highest value opportunities. It identifies risks early and prompts the next best action, preventing deals from stalling. And when a deal is straightforward, the agent takes it end to end, engages stakeholders, answers questions, and completes the transaction. Need to customize the agent? It adapts to your processes and unique sales knowledge. Sales operations teams can easily oversee and govern the agent's work, improving outcomes and trust. Prioritize smarter, act faster, close better. Win more deals together.
So it kind of alluded to it a little bit on the back end of that video, but what has updated recently is the research agent has now stretched beyond that individual deal research. Managers can now use it to plan a sales portfolio. I talked about operations using it for insights. So you can analyze territory and pipeline across from a research angle. And it supports those operation level for admins and analysts and pulls in that external data. So those are all new within the last month or so that have come out in GA recently. The newest member of the agent family is the Opportunity Research Agent. This is the fourth autonomous agent in the D365 sales GA since April, so it's pretty new in the last couple of months. While the sales research agent focuses on accounts and industries, the opportunity research agent focuses on opportunities. It analyzes the opportunity data proactively, uncovering insights and risks to help you close more deals. It surfaces competitive risks, stakeholder dynamics, health indicators, all automatically. So the big win is it works directly on opportunity records inside the sales hub. So it's seamless. Sellers don't have to go anywhere new. The insights show up right where they're working. Think of it more as a proactive risk radar on every deal in your pipeline. It catches the blind spots, missed executive sponsor, cooling of that engagement. They're backing off, not responding quite as quickly. The competitor move you didn't notice before they turn into deal losses. So for sales managers running deal reviews, this is game changer. And I so wish I had this for the last years that I've had to do those deal reviews. This you can see is bright green at the top because this is brand new, generally available in July. It is previewed now, so it is the sales development agent. So essentially it is a 24/7 AI SDR. What sets it apart from the other agents we just covered is that it lives outside of D365. It works inside of M365. So it's one of those agents in Teams and Outlook with its own mailbox and identity. You add it from the Teams agent store. So if you're in Teams, you go to your agents. You can add it there. It's not D365 setting. So it actually emails prospects and holds two-way conversations before handing up that warmed lead to a human seller. You can have several runs. So if you want one for your entire sales team that is managing it, or if you want multiples for different departments, different product lines, one for your account managers versus, your new sales. You have that opportunity to run multiple of these this SDR or the sales development agents. Recommended action agents. So this is a new agent that's coming out. So it's kind of bringing everything together from all of your different agents and pulling it into one area. So it's using the information from your research agent, your sales research agent, your opportunity agent, and it's taking the insights from them and then it's prioritizing them. So it's aggregating all of that up and it's going to prioritize the information as well as your next actions across it. So you'll see what is the most important, which is crazy to know. I mean, you're looking at all of those different agents and you have all of them and they all seem super important, but based on your business and your information, some of it's going to be more important than the other. That's what this does, is it takes the most important information and puts it where it's needed easily to see, use, and find. Finally, what I wanted to end with on this section or bring down into this section is 3 agents you've probably used, you've seen. It's in M365, but you might not necessarily be using them for sales. So the research agent does some really good, deep, multi-step research across the web and your work content. So it's great for that competitive analysis, account prep, and QBRs. It does connect to Salesforce and ServiceNow, which is great. Analysis is a data scientist on demand. So handy for pipeline trends and forecast modeling. Cowork. I could spend an entire hour talking about how much Cowork does for me and how much I love Cowork. If you haven't utilized it in the past, it did just go GA last week. It was in preview before that. It is an agentic. Essentially what it is it's Copilot with its sleeves rolled up. Instead of just answering questions, it actually does the work. Reading your email and calendar, pulling from Teams and SharePoint, building Word docs, presentations, spreadsheets, PowerPoints, whatever it is you need. I had Copilot. I had an entire new project that required a PowerPoint, a Word document executive briefing, an Excel to build out a proposal, as well as, a final presentation, and it built all of it, each of those, and they were all built together. It asks you the questions that's needed. It pulls the information across your M365 environment, as well as the information and outside. So fantastic solution that works across. I will go into a little bit more information this in the next section, which is customization and governance. Very, very important. So we've seen what's in the box. We now want to talk about how you adapt it, set it up, license it, and govern it. I'm going to try to get through the next slides because I've talked a lot and I'm a little behind. So out of the box, Copilot is powerful, but it has a lot of real strategic value when it comes to customize it for your organization. So you've got Copilot Studio, low risk or low friction customization, Dataverse plugins when you need real logic. You've got generative orchestration. This lets Copilot reason across multiple topics and chain actions together. Your MCP server integration, which was generally available in 2026, this lets you connect external AI agents to D365 sales data. And then you've got partner app integration. So many partners like DocuSign surface their apps right in the Copilot pane. You also have many other partners that are generating apps for it. So meaningful control over your Copilot experience without that deep development effort. Licensing, everyone's favorite topic. So you've got the tier 1 licensing, which is that Copilot in D365 sales. This is the first thing that Sharon had gone over. This is Copilot in CRM with no extra cost. Next, you've got the sales agent in M365 Copilot or your M365 Copilot licensing. That is that additional licensing, the $30, $35 per user per month. Then you've got your autonomous agents. These are your consume Copilot credits via prepaid capacity or pay-as-you-go billing. What you do have free in those agents are the built-in prompts, summary, Outlook, Teams integration, and custom topics. So that way you have that individual piece. So you do have some free aspects to those agents. Credits are required, so you do need all of those. The new credit licensing is coming. So there is a new pre-purchase plan as ways to buy in credit that is coming out in July. And we do have a now confirmed for credit cost, 1 credit for GA, 2 for that general AI. Actions are 5 and autonomous triggers are 25. So 25 each. So let's talk about Copilot Chat and Cowork. And this isn't just talking about Copilot Chat, Cowork. This is talking about bringing in that licensing. So we've talked about how those agents, including Cowork, do have an additional cost consumption cost to it. So when do you use them so you can effectively use the tools that are truly available? We talked about a lot of great agents. Some of them don't have a large consumption cost. Some of them have no consumption cost, like the Copilot chat. So if you are doing things in, drafting emails, summarizing threads, prepping for calls, you've created a Word document that you just need tweaked, use Copilot chat. It's easy to use, free to use, much faster. That's the other piece of it is using Cowork is amazing. Using some of these agents is amazing. But they do a lot of research on the back end, and it's going to take a little bit of time. If you need something done quickly, use chat. Use Cowork when you really need to have a creation done. Rule of thumb, obviously, if you're doing something quick, it's chat. Reach for Cowork when you need several deliverables done at the same time. So practical, step 1, enable Copilot in the Power Platform Admin Center. Environmental level settings, if you're cross geographic regions, you'll need cross-region consent. Step 2 is configure your Sales Hub settings. Step 3 is feature configuration is set the summary fields you want Copilot to use. Configure your SharePoint folders for information assistance. For those agents, the additional prerequisites, so Copilot Studio license and server-side sync. Key roles to know: system admin for environment level enablement, M365 Copilot Sales Administrator for the Sales Hub configuration, and Copilot Studio Author if you're customizing. So benefit, clear roadmap, so your team enables Copilot in days, not weeks. Governing that spend. So again, you have it in 3 things. So C, Copilot, Microsoft is doing such an amazing job of being able to support you in governing that spend across your agents. So you have a dashboard for all usage spending, including that Cowork credits, capacity, and top users at a glance. Control allows you to set limits, guardrails, and alerts by user or department, and optimize. It analyzes how AI is used and where spend goes, and where it's delivering value. So you do have full visibility across the board. So you're not just writing a blank check at the end of the day. This is the slide that gets past your CISO, your privacy. So it does stay in your data stays in your tenant. Customer data is not used to train AI models. It respects the Dataverse role-based security, content safety across Azure AI filtering. Every Copilot feature has a published responsible AI FAQ in Microsoft Learn, very important. And finally, human in the loop by design. Always, always have your users review AI-generated content before it's sent or saved. Copilot doesn't auto-send emails unless you set it up to, and you would recreate that and you would set it up. So it does have all of that on the back end. A quick look at what's landing right now. I'm not going to go through all of these. There are quite a few things that are coming out or that have come out recently, as well as coming out. We've talked a lot about some of these already, so I'm going to skip this to some extent so that way you can see it. Honest truth, this is more of the slide that nobody else is giving you, is the limitation. So it's AI. It's not 100% factual. AI is responsible. Responses may contain inaccuracies. So especially in edge cases or unusual queries. So human review is always required. Geographic available. It's not available in every. Originally, it was sales qualification agent. However, just last week, Microsoft is releasing the availability to deploy that sales qualification agent per environment in July. One big constraint there is no downgrade from it, the Engage. I just talked about how it won't send emails without you turning it on. You're not turning it off. So make sure you turn it on. And when you do turn it on, you know that you're turning it on. As a reminder, a lot of these agents are truly autonomous. They can and will set leads to deactivate or qualified. It's great if you have the process set up and the data quality set. If not, there are parts you're going to want to turn on. So make sure you are testing in non-prod environments or with leads that you are okay being messing around with before turning things on. Language, it's 30 plus languages, so there is a limitation, slight limitation there. And then of credit consumption for autonomous agents can be unpredictable at the very beginning, but you do have the data and those dashboards I just talked about. All right, so we're into the wrap up. I don't have time to go super in depth of this, but what I do want to talk about is bringing it all together. We talked about the 3 Copilot layers. So we're going to put them into your sales process now. You've done the hard part. Marketing or your SDR team, whoever it is, you were just at an event, has created a lead and your sales process has begun. AI is starting right from the beginning. You can utilize those embedded features, and you can see that there's several new out in the last month even to support your lead area in your sales cycle. As you're moving it up into the opportunities, you'll know which ones are hot and which ones are not, which ones are still kicking tires, which have long decision-making process, even the ones that have missed and are happening publicly to their organization. So this is going to keep your opportunities moving. Then close it out with that sales agent, accurate forecasting, develop quick proposals, statements of work, etc. Until those layers, utilizing those layers throughout your whole process. Don't forget there are other agents out there, like partners like C5, that are developing agents to fill in the gap. So industry specific or even very company specific to your processes and businesses. So utilize AI across your full sales strategy. All right, this is in that movement. You can actually, we've got a guide that can help with consultants. So I just talked about, utilizing C5, having all of those things. You might have your own partner. You might want to evaluate C5. You might be evaluating partners right now. We do have a guide and things that you should look at when you are evaluating a good partner or consultant for your Copilot. So make sure that you are utilizing this and making sure that you have the right person or the right organization supporting you in your AI journey. I'm going to pass it off to Haley to close us out now. Thank you all for the time and effort. We are 2 minutes over or 2 minutes under. So I think we got it just aligned just right.
Awesome. Thanks so much, guys. So we are not going to have time for Q&A at the end of this webinar because we are pretty much at time. However, if you did submit a question, we will make sure to follow up with you. So that's not just going to get passed by. And right before we close, this is just a notice for anybody who hasn't heard of Community Summit North America. We are going to be there. We would love for you to be there. If you're responsible for Dynamics 365, Power Platform, Copilot, this is a really good opportunity to attend, network with other people in your space, experts like C5, Microsoft themselves. And here's a discount, C5 Insight 15, to make it easier for you to attend. So we hope that this was a helpful and insightful webinar for you all and that you have a productive rest of your afternoon.